Hello guys. Today we are going to see a requirement. This is the requirement is you have to take the input. That input is VBELN and you have to fetch the data from the delivery header. So you have to create a hotspot for the VBELN delivery number. Whenever the user click on the delivery order number, it has to display a message that row is selected. Row is selected. Which row you are selecting? Okay. So this is the requirement which you have to do. So firstly, take the input, tables, LIKP, select options for giving the range of values. Yes, VBELN for LIKP, VBELN. Okay, my input part is ready. Okay, my input is ready. My selection screen is ready. So we have to fetch data from the delivery header. Select VBELN. Uh, ERDAT, ERNAM from LIKP into table into corresponding fields of table LT, LIKP. Before that, you can declare an internal table LT, LIKP, type table of LIKP. Okay, where VBELN in yes, VBLN. This everybody knows it. There is no need to explain in it. So from here, we are getting the data from delivery header. So now we are going to display this delivery header. Now we are going to use OOPS CLV because in order to have more functionalities, more events, and OOPS CLV is the better option which we can do. So that's the reason I'm going to this requirement with the OOPS CLV. So firstly, now we are going to create an instance for the grid class and we are going to assign that grid into the container. So this is the traditional method. In the single method itself, in the single instance itself, you can initialize the grid for the instance. You can do the container part also. How we are going to see it now. So data LOALV equal to new. What is the class we are referring to? CLGALV grid. So click on this one. So if you have this, what is the parent class we are having? The container class, new CL GUI custom container, where from this class we are going to get the container. We are going to display our data into the container. Just with it, just you can give the any container name because based upon this name only we are going to create a container in the module pool programming. Okay. This everybody knows it because the only learning in this is probably we might have an practice in separating. Firstly, we have to create an instance separately and creating an object separately, and again we have to assign that into the container. So in the single statement itself, you can do this two parts itself. Okay. Just close with it. And we can close here. Now our grid part is done, container part is done. Now only thing we have to display our data. In order to display our data in OOPS, we have a method called as LOALV we are referring to the instance, so that's the reason single arrow mark referring to set table, set underscore table for first display. This is the method we can display our data in it. Just uncomment the exception so that we can have no dumps in it. So you can have assign an internal table where we can get the data. So, and you can declare a field cat and you can assign it LT fcat. As of now, we are not filling the field cat. Now we are going to fill the field cat. Okay. Okay. Now we are going to fill the field cat. How we are going to fill data? LD fcat. Fcat is referring to value. Value, it's a filling. It act as a for reading the data and for posting the data. Okay. Value which it is referring to. What is the type it is referring to? LVC Fcat. Okay. Just with it. Cat part is done. So you have to specify, we have to do a field hotspot, right? So that's the reason I'm giving a hotspot. We have to give the hotspot for VBLN. So that's the reason I'm going to give you hotspot, VBLN as hotspot. So it is going to create a hotspot. It is going to create below the delivery number. It is going to create a underline with it so that we can have identification. This particular column has hotspot in it. Okay, now it is done. Field cat part is done. Display part is done. And now we have to design container in it. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can take the screen number, that's your wish. Double click on it. Just click on yes, yes. Container. Click on the layout. It will take some time. So please make patience. Click on this custom control. Just drag and drop. So in between the area of the container, it is going to display the output. What is the container we are giving in the program? CONT, right? CONT. Control S. Just you can control F3. Go back. Now our part is done. First initial fetching part is done. Okay. 8000371 is the input. 75. Now, see, this is the hotspot we have created. So, underline as I mentioned, when you create a hotspot, before the delivery number, it is going to create an underline. It is going to create an underline. To order, in order to perform this, we have to implement these things now. So now, in order to do this thing, we have an event in this class, CLGALV grid class. That event is just search with it, hotspot underscore click. See, hotspot underscore click. When the hotspot was selected, when the user click on the hotspot, so it is trigger. When the user click on the hotspot field, it is going to trigger. We have to implement this event. So we have to check what are all the parameters that are available. Click on this parameter. So what are all the parameters is available in this particular event? It is going to available. E row ID means so we can read the entire row. Okay, E column ID means we can read the particular column. In this case, we have to implement VBELN. So that's the reason we are going to take these two things. Because if you want to read the a particular column, firstly, we have to read the entire column. After that only we can get the single column, right? Without reading the entire row, how we can get the single column? This is the point which you have to make it by yourself. Okay. Now we are going to implement this event. How we are going to implement this event means, so class, in the class itself, class, you have to give the class name, LCL underscore class, definition. Okay, we are defining the class. We are defining our class as a public section, our method as a public section. Now define methods here. Heart, in this case, I am defining the method as hotspot underscore click for event. What is the event we are referring to? Hotspot underscore click, right? Which class it is referring to? CLGUI grid. What are the importing parameters in it? Importing row ID, right? So it is reading the entire column. Similarly, we have column ID also. We can have individual columns. So now definition part is done. We have to implement this class. Class, LCL class, implementation, method. What is the method? We have to implement h underscore c. Okay. Now we have to perform a hotspot operation here. So firstly, read the entire row. Firstly, we have to read the entire row. So in order to read the entire row, we have to do in the inline declarations. Data of ls likp equal to value. You are referring to which internal table? Which internal table you are reading it? LTLIKP, right? So in the brackets, you have to specify based upon which thing you are going to read an internal table. So I am reading an internal table based upon the row index. LTLIKP, the row ID based on index. Okay. Based on index, I will write. So optional. Okay. Just and check the condition at it. Size about c equal to 0. Just you can give the hash so that it will have associate type with it, and you can have optional. If the record is not reading it, it is going to dump. So in order to maintain the dump, I will give the optional. And now we have to, and now we are reading the row. So we have to read a column now. So what is the importing parameter? We need to read the column. Column ID, right? Column ID, we have field name in it. Field name. Which field you are referring to? Now I want to read, I'm referring to the VBELN. So that's the reason I am giving EBELN. So now we have to display a message when the user click on the VBELN. Let's say you are hard coding a message. Let's say row is selected. If you are hard coding a message, every message irrespective, it is going to display a message same. Now, let's say if I click on 8000337 it has to display row is selected 8000337. So if I click on the 3372, it has to display a row is selected 8000337. We have to concatenate the row ID in it. Okay. So firstly, we have to concatenate with it. Concatenate. So E row ID Okay. And ls, likp, vbln, we have to concatenate with it, and row id and the column name into data of lvmsg. Okay. So now we are going to display a message lvmsg type I. Okay. Now we have to end it, and if now we are going to end the method, end method in class. Okay. Now we have to register the event. So in order to do, when you specifically maintain the events, we have to register the event so that you can have uh, action in it in the event when you click on something. So firstly, we have to create an instance for the class data of LOINST. That name is your wish. New, what is the class name? LCL class. Okay. Now we have to register the event. For registering the event, we have set handler. What is the instance which is referring to our class is LOINST, because in above statement only we are creating an instance. We are referring to our instance. So our event has the method, right? In which particular method it is referring to, that is h underscore c. Okay, for uh, what is the instance for the grid class? Because the grid class, CLG grid class only, the event contains hotspot click. So that's the reason we are going to give this LOALV. Now register part is done. Everything is done. We have to check with it. We can execute. Just give the random inputs. 7, 5. Click on this. 8000337 is selected. Okay, we have to display a proper message. So that's the reason it is going to give that in proper alignment. Message. Otherwise, row is selected. Okay, just you can have work area along with the field name. Just this is enough. Type I, because this will give you the better performance, so that we can we cannot require the concatenate operations here. Okay. If I am selecting it, see, row is selected 8000337. Our requirement is done. Now we are going to take the input, and we are going to get the data from the delivery header, and we are creating the hotspot, and whenever the user click on the hotspot, we are displaying the message as row is selected 8000337. Now we are going to check another also 8000375. Row is selected 8000335. Done. Everything is done. So in this way, how you can tackle with the hotspot. So this will have an extension also. So you can stay with us. You can stay tuned with our social media. So thank you.